Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Angie, also known as The Light. Please like, subscribe to my channel. Like this video right now. Stop what you're doing and like it, because the more you like it, then I believe it'll get added to the suggestions. And I don't care about subs, I care about views. I like my video to be seen. Okay, because the more views, it means the more people have been reached with information about narcissists. Um, Share the video if you like to. If you'd like to make a donation to me, please do so. If you want me to continue this channel and putting out content, because I'm giving my wisdom, I'm giving my energy, I'm giving my all, I'm giving myself to you, please make a donation. No donation is too small or too large. I really think those who have donated to me as well already. Okay, today, oh yes, when you donate to me, I will email you and I will ask you, do you have a topic or a question, and I will do a video response to the topic or question that you may have about narcissists or something that you're going through in your life. So that way I get something, you get something. So nobody walks away feeling like you're just handing me over some type of money. So how you can donate to me, I will have my Cash App and my PayPal information in my description bar below this video, or I would have it in the comment section. You'll see that I commented and the link will be right there, and you can just click on it and do so. You either have to download the app or go online and sign up for PayPal. I do have Venmo as well, but you'll have to comment to me and I'll give you that information, how to Venmo me. Alright, I hope everyone is doing well. I said, you know what, I want to do a video that is a little bit more risky, but I'm willing to talk about it because it happens to the best of us. It happens to a lot of us where, you know, we got caught up with the narcissist romantically, sexually, whatever you want to describe it. And it's happened to me. It's happened to me more than once. But I want to talk about a time where I had a fling with a narcissist. And I'm telling you this story because, you know, sometimes you could be talking to somebody right now, dating them, whatever terms you want to use, and you are picking up some things about the person, but you're not quite sure if they're narcissist or if they're a narcissist, or you're liking them way too much. Everything seems perfect, and you know, usually when it's everything seems perfect, it's not perfect. So I said, you know what? Let me tell this story because it was crazy how I kind of like almost fell for this narcissist, basically. Okay, so I'm gonna call this narcissist. Let's call him. Ooh, that'll be too close. Let's just call him Jay. So I met Jay, and yeah. So I met Jay when I was 16 years old. I'm 34 now. Okay, so I met Jay when I was 16 years old, and I instantly had a crush on Jay. Keep in mind, I was raised by a narcissist, so I've always been attracted to narcissistic men, not subconsciously or consciously knowing. The reason why I was attracted to narcissistic men was because that was the visual of the man that raised me. The narcissistic stepfather that raised me, every man like that I was attracted to growing up, you know, when I was a teenager, in my 20s, actually had the kind of swagger of my narcissistic stepfather. And you know, it took a while to realize, oh snap, all these men that I was dating, they were just like my narcissistic stepfather. And you know, even though I had daddy issues too, going towards, regarding my biological father because I felt abandoned. So here I was picking up narcissists, or I was picking up unavailable men because I felt, broken. And I was picking up these narcissistic men because that's the visual in my head of what the ideal man was. Okay, so this is why you have to heal from the narcissistic abuse, because if not, we're going to constantly keep picking up these narcissistic men or women. Okay, so going back, I met Jay when I was 16 years old. And it's so funny because I actually met him through another narcissist. He went to school with this ex narcissistic friend of mine. It was a female. He went to a private school that was, where was this private? This private school was in Delaware. Okay, so I actually met him through her. They lived on the same campus, and I met him through her. And then I found out this was a Christian school. So I said Christian school. It was a Christian academy. And I found out later on that he was the same religion as I at the time, which was, which was Seventh-day Adventist. And then I found out that his father was a pastor. And I was just like even more impressed. I was like, wow, we're the same religion. His dad is a pastor. Jackpot. I need him in my life. Okay, that's what I was thinking. So one I'm gonna say maybe it was like a June. So somebody was graduating at this school. So we took a road trip. It was the girl's family, the guy Jay, her, and a whole bunch of other people. We just like packed in cars. We drove to Delaware and we went to this graduation. So, we was giving each other little googly eyes. I'm 16. I don't really know how to flirt. I'm 16. I was a virgin. So I asked, my friend at the time, let's call her Mia. I asked Mia, I'm like, Mia, is Jay, like, is he a virgin? Is he single? Like, what's going on with him? And she was just like, you like Jay? Okay, whatever. She was like, from what I hear, Jay's a virgin. So I was like, oh, perfect. He's on my speed because I'm 16. I'm a virgin, but I'm 16, so that made him like 18. So I was just like, wow, he's 18, he's a virgin? Interesting. Anyway, so I think him and I actually ended up flirting the entire trip. He sat in the back seat of the car with me. Like we're touching. It was just like a major thing for me. It was like kiddie stuff, But anyway, we ended up exchanging numbers, and I remember like we kept in touch. We kept talking, and one day he was like, why don't you come to my house? And I was like, come to your house? Like, he was trying to like take my virginity basically. But I didn't go to his house because I lived in Queens and he lived in Long Island. I don't drive. I was probably about, at this time when he asked that, I was about 18. So like 2 years had passed since I had met him. I was 18 at the time, and he was like, oh, why don't you come to my house? And I was like, I'm not getting on the Long Island Railroad. The Long Island Railroad is a train that you take from like Manhattan all the way to get to Long Island. Anyway, so I was like, I'm not getting on. I was in Manhattan at the time when he, with some friends, and he was just like, why don't you leave your friends and come see me? And I was just like, no. Like, so we went back and forth over that, and I never ended up losing my virginity to him. I ended up losing my virginity to some other asshole who had no business taking my virginity. But anyway, we actually parted ways. He went on to college. I went on to beauty school, but we kept in touch. It wasn't until like in my 20s, early 20s, I think it was, where, there was MySpace, and then after MySpace, everybody got onto Facebook, and that's when him and I began to talk more on Facebook. Keep in mind, I did not know this guy was a narcissist. I didn't know what narcissism was, but I would say that this guy had all the traits, qualities, the swagger, the style of how my narcissistic stepfather was. Okay, so I remember we became friends on Facebook, and through time, we would begin to inbox each other, and it was just like a flirty thing. And then I noticed that he ended up having a baby, and it was kind of weird to me to see him have a baby, because when you're in a religious upbringing, you never really was thinking that people was going to have children out of wedlock. And his father's a pastor, but he's always a pastor kids that end up being the worst. Okay, so he ended up having a child, and I saw through like Facebook how much his daughter loves him, and he appeared to be this great father. Like, I mean, he would keep posting like videos of him and his daughter, and I was just really impressed. But it was just really weird to me how he would just have no problem saying what he wanted to say to me, flirting wise, on social media. And he was very aggressive. And something in my spirit said to me, like, stay away from him. And I rejected him for years. Keep in mind, I had a crush on him from 16, never told him. But here he was, we're in our 20s, and I'm like, he's flirting with me. But it was the way he was flirting with me. And I don't know if y'all have experienced this with other narcissists, but when it comes to the somatic narcissist is the one that uses their body, uses their looks, uses their charm, their sex to gain, their supply. And he was definitely a somatic. He's definitely a somatic, because Jay is like, his body is like a bodybuilder. Okay, he stays in the gym. He's always posting photos of himself half naked. And that kind of like, it was kind of thoughty. A thought is like a hoe, basically. And I was just like, you know what, he's cute, but he just turned out to be somebody who I probably would never take seriously, basically. I just would watch how he will always post, pictures like showing his chest and having on underwear, and just all these thirst traps. These thirst traps meaning, sexual traps, or just to try to get attention from women online. And it was really unattractive. Like, in my head, I was like, this wasn't the guy that I fell for when I was 16. He grew up to be kind of thotty, kind of be a whore. So I was just like, I don't really think I would ever take him seriously, but he's very sexy. That's what I was thinking in my mind. And men do this too. Men are like, you know what, she's a good looking woman. I will never marry that girl, but, I may play with her. Let's keep it real. We've all seen people in that light before. Okay, so long story short, let's go up. Years go by, and 20s go by, and this happened about almost 2 years ago. So he starts inboxing me on Facebook, and we're flirting back and forth, because he was just being too aggressive in my comment section, that there was some days that I had to actually delete comments. And I don't know if y'all been through this, where you will have narcissists say the most boldest, disrespectful, or the most sexual things in your comment section on social media, and we call them trolls. We call them internet trolls today, where these narcissists are just looking for attention. And that's kind of what I felt with him. He would just say, he would literally be asking for sex in my comment section, and there would be and I think because people know us from the religion, they'll be thinking that he's joking, but no, he was serious. He wouldn't say, oh, I want to F, or I want to have sex with you, but he would just say, when will I ever get you? Like, he'll just keep putting that under my comments, like, you better stop playing. I'm not going to stop until I get you. You need to stop wearing your pants like that. Or, why are you wearing that top? Do you know what you're doing to me? damn, you're so fine. Like, just all these different stuff. Like, I felt like, why you just couldn't inbox me? Why you gotta put my business out there in the street? That's motorcycles in the background, if you can hear that. So anyway, I always was just like, whoa. And I'm a Leo and he's an Aries, and that's both fire signs. So I would always say to him, nah, you're an Aries, I'm a Leo, we would be trouble together. We would probably argue. We would be too fiery, too feisty. And he would be like, oh, no, 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 that's perfect. I'm Aries, you're Leo. We would be perfect for each other. And I was just like, And it was just so interesting how another the narcissistic friend that we had in common, she used to be like, beware of him. And I would just be like, beware him how? But she never would get into it. And I just be like, But in the back of my mind, because, we could be lustful people, I still was just like, oh, he's so cute. I still had that 16-year-old mind where I'm thinking like, oh, maybe he really is a good guy. Let's go, forward in the story, because I can keep talking on and on about this guy. Anyway, so I get to 2 years ago, he contacts me, and we're just like talking, and it was really, really crazy how this happened, because I had been celibate for months before anything ever happened between me and this narcissist guy. So here I was, I'm celibate for months. I'm being focused. I'm like trying not to make mistakes, meaning I didn't want to sleep with the wrong person. I wanted to be special, you know what I'm saying? I just don't be out there giving it to whoever, I'm in my 30s now, so it's very different. Okay, so anyway, me and him get to flirting and saying things a little bit too far. And then he's just like, you know what? I wish I can see you. So I was like, well, you can see me, because tomorrow I don't have to work till late. And he was like, oh, great, because me either. I don't have to work till late as well. So let's, link up tonight. So I was just like, well, you're going to have to come pick me up. And I did not, it's weird. I didn't want him to come to my house. So I was just like, I didn't want him to come inside of my house. I'm very funny like that. I was like, well, I'll go to your house. He was just like, you know what? Okay, no problem. I'll pick you up. So I get ready and everything like that. He picks me up and we drive to his house. So actually, before we drive to his house, he's like, he doesn't have gas. And I'm just like looking at him like, is this guy for real? And this is how the typical narcissistic gigolo, the narcissistic gigolo type, those types really will try to get money, food, anything they can get out of women if they can, right? So he's like, oh, I have something to tell you. And I'm like, okay. I'm in my head like, what can this guy possibly tell me? And he was just like, well, it's kind of embarrassing, but I have not been working in like 6 months. Keep in mind, this guy drives a freaking up to date, like, souped up BMW. Okay, he drives a BMW, not an old BMW, a brand new BMW. So that means he has a car note. Okay, and he has a master's degree, and I believe he works in pharmaceuticals, not drugs on the street, pharmaceuticals, definitely in pharmaceuticals. Okay, I believe he's a rep. Okay, so this guy is supposed to be making money, and this is what he portrays online. Okay, how he's taking pictures with his BMW. Oh, I'm at the car wash washing my BMW. He has all the latest fashions. When I got to his house, he had like Jordans like lined up and stuff like that. But here he was trying to ask me for gas money. Guys, and keep in mind, I have never been that type of woman. No, I've literally have had other narcissistic men spoil me financially. So, and I wasn't raised that way. unless I'm in a relationship, I don't like spend money on narcissists. Or if you're not my narcissist, I don't spend money like that unless I'm in a relationship. I don't spend money on people who I don't like and love. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I have to be in a relationship with you or have some type of friendship, something with you, in order to spend money on you. But I was like, you know what? Whatever. I handed him my debit card. I was like, you know what? I'm going to be nice. I have known this guy for a long time. So I was just like, well, you can put $10 in your tank. And he was like, oh, okay, thank you so much. It's cool. Thank you. You're so cool, man. And he got in the car and he was just like, you know what? I really should wife you up. Wife you up is like a slang term of saying, I should make you my girlfriend, pretty much. You're, you know, my main woman. And he just kept saying that the entire ride to his apartment. He was just like, man, I really should wife you up. You're so nice. Like, I can't believe you just paid for gas. Like, if I asked any other girl that, they would have an issue with it. And man, and then when we got to his apartment, he was going to go into his driveway, so he just stopped and looked at me. He didn't say, can you get out the car or anything. So I just, you know, went and got out the car. Cause I kind of figured, like, get out the car, Angie. And he was like, you see, like, it's just small things like that. That just makes me want to, like, make you my girl. Like, do you want to be my girl? And I'm just, like, looking at him like, I'm like, you know what? Why don't you get a job first? Yo, I said it. I was just like, why don't you get a job first? But this is what the narcissist does. He was literally trying to, I guess, see like where my head was at, see like what was my boundaries, what was his end to me, basically. Because it was just like, what are you talking about? Like, we're just trying to have a fling together right now. We're not really talking about relationship. You know, it was just weird. So, I was just picking up all this, but I when you're in a situation like this, you don't want to believe the person's a narcissist. So I was just in my head like, damn, like, what is he talking about? He was just acting so weird to me. Like, he wasn't acting like how he was, like, on the phone or through text. He was just acting extra weird in person. Okay, so he just kept saying the whole night, like, dang, I should wife you up, this and that. He did the typical thing, like open the car door and offer me something to drink and offer me something to eat when, you know, I got in his apartment. So when I got in, I kind of had this feeling like he was trying to impress, and that's what the narc does. They got to put up this facade to make you think like they're the shit, okay, when they're really not. So he's like walking me around his apartment, which really wasn't much, okay. He's walking me around his apartment. I'm just like, oh, it's really cute, it's nice, you know, blah, 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 whatever. And then, like, we sit down, we're watching TV. So he puts on, like, Ratchet TV, I call it, which is, like, this show called Love and Hip Hop. You'll have to Google it if you don't know what I'm talking about. So he puts on Love and Hip Hop, and it was just so weird. Like, he didn't even ask me, like, what do you want to watch? You know, it was just like, oh, I'm going to watch Love and Hip Hop. And I was just looking at him like, I was just like really, I don't watch ratchet television. I do not watch ghetto stuff. So I was just like, I wasn't impressed. I was just pretty shocked. And whatever. So he's playing that, and we're just like cuddled up, and we're watching this ratchet TV show. And then he just starts talking about like other women, like the kind of women that he attracts. And then he proceeds to take his phone out and show me like the women who DM him on Instagram or message him on Facebook, and these women, and this is what the narcissist does, especially the somatic or even the cerebral. They have to make themselves appear greater, or, you know, they have to make themselves appear as if there's so many people running after him. The only reason why I would think that women would be running after him is because he is fine. I ain't gonna lie. He's fine. And his body is beautiful. And he posts all of his half-naked photos on the internet. So, of course, women are going to be inboxing you because, you know, you're basically promoting your penis online. So, I just said to him, first of all, the women that he was showing me, they look like whores. I I'm not judging these women, but they did not look like somebody who you want to like bring home to your mom, okay? They might have been lovely women, but that's what they look like. And I was just like, oh, well, if that's what you want, go ahead. I don't think that you would really find a wife in those particular women who were inboxing you. But, do what you want to do. So we caught up. We talked about things from back in the day, teenage stuff or whatever the case is. And it was just the weirdest thing. I said to him, do you remember how we met? He was just like, no, I just feel like I know where you're from. I know the church that you're from. Like, I remember meeting you, but I don't know who you're talking about. Like, he basically said he did not even remember Mia. And I was just like, how could you remember me, but you don't remember Mia? Like, I met you through Mia. And he was like, I really don't know who Mia is. And it was so freaking scary. And I was just like, what are you talking about? Like, he repeated, like, where he used to see me when we were growing up and just, like, different stories. But it was as if he, like, completely deleted Mia out of his mind. And I was just like, what the hell? Like, that shit was scary. I had to show him a photo of Mia for him to remember. Keep in mind, he went to high school with Mia. He was friends with Mia. Mia's mom and Jay's mom were like best friends at one point. And I was just like, and then when he saw the picture, he was like, oh yeah, I know her. He was just like, but we're not friends, like, I did go to high school with her, but whatever. And I was just looking at him like, I don't know if he was pretending. I've never seen a narcissist do that before, but I'm assuming that's what the narcissist does when they mention us. Oh, I don't know who that is. Who are you talking about? It was so scary to see that he looked so serious, like he pretended as if he did not know who the hell Mia was. Long story short, we ended up sleeping together that night. Now, keep in mind, before we were intimate, I told him, look, I have not had sex in almost a year. So, I'm going to need you to take your time with me. I'm going to give y'all some real serious details here because this is like a real indication. Like, anyone that does this is a selfish person or they're a narcissist. This is just how I feel about it. You hear this? This is what living in New York City is about. Sorry for the fire hydrant. Anyway, so he went like he was in the bedroom. He was acting as if like he was never going to see me again. He was super aggressive. When I told him like something hurt, he didn't care. He continued. This is so annoying living in New York. This is the shit that I have to listen to all the time. I really want to just sell my house and move. Okay. When I told him something didn't feel good, hurt, or, I didn't like that position, or I didn't want, I was in discomfort, or oh, stay there, do it like this, or when you're in the bedroom and you're talking, you're giving that dialogue, you're giving that feedback of what feels good and what doesn't. He did not care. And I know a lot of you have had that happen with a narcissist where it is like there is no connection at all. The sex was good, but it wasn't great because there was no connection, and he did whatever the hell he wanted to do. Whenever I said something didn't feel good, or no, I don't want to do that, or let's try this or that, he like disregarded my pleasure. He was pleasuring. He was making sure. He was basically, to me, it felt like he was making sure that I did reach my climax, but there was actually like, it really didn't feel like pleasurable. To me, sex is like where you have that mental connection, and you have that eye contact, you have a certain level of foreplay, you have conversation, or you have communication to where you're looking to see what the person likes and what they don't like. Why would you continue to do something if the person didn't like it? And that is how the narcissist, to me, the somatic narcissist is when it comes to sex. I think a lot of them get a lot of pleasure out of hurting the person during sex. And I've had conversations with other women also who have experienced this, and some men who have experienced this, having sex with the somatic narcissist. And it was good, but it wasn't great. And it was a disconnect sexually because, excuse me, he was all about himself. You get what I'm trying to say? It's very hard to explain, but I know those of you who have had sex with narcissists, you know what I'm talking about. It's like a show to them. They're just making sure that they're putting it on you, but they're not really satisfying you. They're not there to pleasure you. They're there to get it in, make sure you come, and that is it. They're not caring about the connection. They're not caring that you're actually really satisfied, that you're being pleased. And I did not feel that with the narcissist. And because of that, and it was just his attitude and his disregard, and it was just like so weird. It was just so freaking weird. And for the first time, that I had not had sex with a narcissist in years and years. So that that was just, it was just so weird to be touched by him, because when you have sex with a narcissist or when you kiss a narcissist, it's like there is no spiritual connection, no, like, it is surface based. It's just sex. That's it. I don't care how slow they do it, how fast they do it, how intense they try to make it feel. I felt like he completely disregarded that. First of all, I haven't had sex in almost a year, so that means that I was tighter. Not trying to put all my business out there. He didn't care. He did not care, okay? It was just the weirdest, a very, very weird experience. It was like, yes, I was, pleased, satisfied, but it wasn't a caring, a loving, attentive type of sexual experience. And when I think back to my sexual experiences with narcissists, they all were like that. They don't give a damn about you. It's not about you. And if they are, if it does feel good to you, but there is always that connection missing. And if you do feel a connection, that spiritual connection or something with a narcissist, you've created that shit in your mind, because they don't have anything to give you. So how will you feel? I've talked to people before who have had sex with narcissists, and they're just like, oh, it's the best sex in the world. You created that illusion. Yeah, it is good sex, but it's not amazing sex. It's not phenomenal sex, because good sex is basically when the person is trying to please you in all areas, okay? Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, and it's just one collective experience, and your orgasm will be amazing, because sex starts from the mind. You can do all these things to someone's body and the person doesn't react because you gotta screw them here. So it was just a weird experience. I walked away feeling like, I don't know, this guy, he's gotta be a narc. So when he drove me back to my house, I remember him saying, oh, I don't understand why, because I don't drive because I have like a fear of driving. And I told him this, and he was just like, he got out the car and he looked up at my house and he was just like, oh, you got a nice house. it was like a jealousy thing, and this, the narc likes to compete with you. And, he was like, oh, you got a nice house. And he looked at my driveway, and he was just like, oh, but you don't got a car, though. And I was just like, okay. He was just very, very weird. And I knew, like, my spirit had told me before that this guy was off. But I did it anyway. And it was so funny because the night that I had, took a shower, went to his house, I remember, I've been living in my house for 10 years, okay? Yeah, about 10 years. And at this time, it was like 8 years. So I have been living in my house at that time for almost 8 years. It's 10 years now. And I remember my water going cold that night. And that's a sign type of person. Every time something happens, I'm like, that's a sign. That's a sign. That's a sign. I'm telling you, I've lived in my house all these years, and my water has never been cold. I have an old house. So it's like my water isn't always hot, like hot, okay? You have like those old pipes where the water is like always hot. It's really cold or really, really hot. And I remember the water going cold that night. And I said to myself, I don't think I should go to his house. Because my water, I'm telling you, my water was freezing cold. Like, I had to wait like 30 minutes before like my water heated up. And I was like, that is very weird. And my heat was pumping. There was nothing wrong with my boiler. So I was just like, what the hell is going on? I think that was God's sign to me, like, don't go. But you know what? I did it anyway. And after we talked for a little bit, and I just did not like his attitude. He had this nasty attitude. He seemed to be like a different person, of course, after the sexual experience. So, I ended up blocking him on my social media. And I wasn't upset. I just felt like I should just part ways from him. And you know what? After like a few months, I'm going to say about 3 or 4 months went by, I ended up contacting him. And of course, he hoovered me back in. He was just like, oh, I miss you so much. And I was just like, yeah, but you know what? I blocked you because you had like this bad attitude. And his excuse was, oh, you know what? He never apologized for the things he said to me after we were intimate. His attitude, he didn't apologize. And the narcissist will never, ever apologize, okay? And he just wanted to hoover me back in because why? The narcissist, he felt discarded. He wanted to discard me. So we actually ended up seeing each other one more time. And then, like, I didn't hear from him anymore. But at the time, I really didn't care. Because definitely after the second time, I was just like, you know what? This guy is definitely a narc. And I didn't have any feelings for him. It was completely physical. And I learned my lesson from the situation. But he was definitely a narcissist. And it was just so weird. Like, every time we spoke, he kept mentioning my house. And I was just like, what the hell is up with my house? He just kept saying things about my house. How, oh, your uncle's older. So because he's older, your uncle it's more of your uncle's house and not your house. Because my uncle and I own the house together. And it was just so weird. Like, I've never had anyone say that. I was like, what is up with this dude in my house? He always kept mentioning my house. I don't know. I guess he was jealous because I own a house and he owns an apartment. Rents an apartment. But all of the puzzle pieces of a narcissist was there, definitely. And it's something about narcissistic men that I noticed is that they have an extreme level of confidence, or appear to. It's either their confidence appears to be, extremely high, or it appears to be, extremely low, where they seem like, the cerebral narcissist is usually the one that comes off like a nerd, or the gamer type, or the comic or anime type, that type of guy. And I've had that also where they come off, they're so humble. when deep down inside they're freaking evil. Okay, so I'm gonna say honestly, watch out for people who appear to be overly confident. That's just something that I noticed. A lot of people that I've come across who appear to be like they just know they the shit. They'll talk about anybody. They'll bring down anybody at any second, any moment, or they'll try to appear and make it seem like if you get with them, you done hit jackpot. Watch out for people like that. But I learned my lesson. I do not speak to him. I don't have his number anymore. I believe he is still on my Facebook, but I unfollowed him. I can't see him. And he's not on my Instagram. I don't speak to him or anything like that. And I would never go there sexually with him ever again. But, I guess it was good for my studying, meaning I know the signs, but I know that if this was me years ago, I probably still would be dealing with him again. Okay, like I probably would have continued this particular relationship because I would have been so stuck on him. Like, why is he rejecting me? Why is he doing this? Why is he doing that? Like, whatever. We had our fling and we did what we did. In his mind, it was like I guess he felt I discarded him in the beginning, so he came back for seconds and he felt like he had to discard me, okay? And I was just like, dude, whatever. I really didn't care, whatever. I figured out at the end he was a narcissist and I was just completely over it. Please be careful. These somatic narcissists, yeah, their sex game is good. It is, but that's all they freaking have. They're immature. They don't have any skill set, any maturity to have intimate relationships, to, make mature decisions. And even this guy, like, he took bad about his daughter's mother, somehow, oh, she's baby mama drama. Like, every girlfriend he ever had was a problem, and it was really strange because he's really extremely close to his mom. And I know a lot of narcissistic men that are very close to their mothers. They all don't hate their mamas, but I don't know if he never really talked about his dad. So maybe the dad was a narcissist and the mom was codependent, but he was extremely, extremely close to the mom. I did see that he treated his daughter nice. It looked like she loves him and they have a great relationship. So yes, there are some men out there who have great relationships with their children or appear to have great relationships with their mother, and they're still narcissists. I believe a lot of narcissists are created. I feel as if maybe she created her son to be a narcissist by spoiling him, not disciplining him and not really showing him how to treat a woman. Yeah, you treat your mama right, but you're out here not treating women right. Who knows? He could be closeted gay. A lot of these narcissistic men and women, they're bisexual or they're closeted gays, okay? So please be careful and don't be so quick to fall for somebody, ladies, because they got the body, they got the muscles, and they in the gym, and don't fall for that. Please don't. And it's strange. You will be very surprised. Yes, I'm a bigger woman, but it's very strange. I tend to attract the bodybuilder types, the pretty boy types, and you gotta be very careful with that because a lot of these pretty boys, I know a lot of like very good looking men, and a lot of them have narcissistic qualities. So you got to be very careful, because these narcissists, some of them are very attractive and they use their looks, they use their body, they use their penis, so they use their vagina to get their supply, okay, to trap people. So please be very careful out there and protect yourself if you do have premarital sex or whatever the case is. And that's my story for today. Hopefully, you enjoyed it. And I want to, let me know in the comment section, what was your experience with the somatic narcissist when it came to sex? And, did you experience some of the same things? Them not really trying to please you. I want to hear the stories, okay? So, like, subscribe, share this video if you want to, and don't forget to send me a donation. I will continue to do more videos. Peace and blessings. Talk to you soon, everyone.